Picture this, you're pre-pooing every week, you're deep conditioning, you're shampooing, you're putting your hair in a low manipulation or protective style, and your hair still turns out like this. That was me 6 months ago, and this is me now. These are the 6 things that I realised was breaking off my fine hair, and I'm going to share with you what these were so you don't make the same mistake that I did. What's up, Curlies? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kiki, and if you are new here, I do all things curly hair tips, product reviews and styling. Today is all about the 6 things that broke off my fine natural hair and how I actually overcame these within 6 months and remedied the damage. Although my hair is not necessarily longer than it was, it definitely is thicker, fuller and has less split ends and breakage overall. So let's deep dive into the 6 things that I was doing completely wrong. The first and arguably most important one is I was leaving my hair wet for too long. I was focusing on air drying at this time during this period. And although air drying is not necessarily bad for your hair, leaving your hair wet for a prolonged period of time can cause the hair to weaken and break off. So if you didn't know, your hair is in its weakest state when it is wet. And with the hair taking in and absorbing the water, it expands. And hair that is in that expansion state for quite a while is almost at risk to more damage of the cuticle layers because they are constantly swelled and they don't actually contract back to where their natural state is, and they're meant to be tightly overlapped. So with that in mind, I was doing this on a weekly basis. I thought I was doing something right. I was putting my hair into like a really nice low manipulation jumbo braid kind of protective style, and then I would take the braids out halfway through the week and wear them in its like braid out in a loose sort of low tension updo. And I was doing this for a number of months thinking that I was doing the right thing, but little did I know I was actually weakening my strands so much, and ultimately it caused my hair to split and break off from the mid-length of the hair and not just the ends. So that was mistake number 1. I advise you, if you are going to do some sort of protective style where you're doing it from wet, then you either A, do the style on blown out hair, or B, after you've done the style, you make sure you dry it with some sort of bonnet dryer or hooded dryer for at least like 30 minutes to make sure the hair gets a good head start on being dry, and that you actually don't go to bed with wet or damp hair, because ultimately that is what I was doing wrong. The hair cannot dry overnight. It was staying wet and damp for at least 12 hours, and that was what was primarily causing my hair to weaken and break off. The second thing that I was doing to break off my fine natural hair is I was only using moisture deep conditioners. Now, looking back, I actually can 100% see where I was going wrong with this. I don't know why I simply just got lazy and decided to only do moisture deep conditioners, but it doesn't work for me. There was a period of time when it was during 2022 or thereabouts, and I was doing protein treatments every other week, bi-weekly, and rotating it out with my moisture treatment, and that was working perfectly fine. I got a really good protein and moisture balance. Now, after that, I feel like I got a little bit lazy, and not just that, with the fact that I'm a creator, I do get sent lots of products and I am eager to try out lots of different things on wash day, which often means that I don't use the same product one week after another. With that in mind, I was just doing moisture deep conditioners only, and I think my hair was just becoming overly moisturized and overly soft, and that in combination with leaving it wet for too long was making it a little bit weak and what we would call hair growth fatigue. I'm not exactly sure if that is the correct term for it nowadays, or if that is even a thing, but I definitely think my hair was over moisturized. What I like to do now is I have gone back to that regimen of 1 week on, 1 week off. So 1 week I will do a moisture deep conditioner, and the next week I will use a protein deep conditioner. The third thing that was breaking off my fine natural hair was I was stopping pre-poo treatments. At one point, I just got a little bit, as I mentioned, I don't even want to say lazy, because I'm not lazy with my hair. I actually put effort into it, but I just got complacent with the fact that it was like at a long-ish length. My hair's been at bra strap length, and it's not short, it's not long, it's a decent length. So I was just kind of getting complacent with that and thinking, oh, I'll be fine. But no, I do need to take extra care with my hair, and especially pre-poo, and in particular doing some sort of either Indian healing clay mask with apple cider vinegar or a pre-poo bonding treatment was working wonders for my hair at the time. And I stopped doing that. I got really complacent and stopped doing it, and as a result it weakened my hair over time. The bonding treatments are just a fantastic addition to my routine. My hair loves them. And the Indian healing clay also is really nice for drawing out toxins, balancing the scalp with the apple cider vinegar, and my hair absolutely loves Indian healing clay. So again, I've implemented that back into my routine, and I have seen some amazing results, not just from the healing clay, but all of these things in combination. The fourth thing that broke my fine natural hair off was I stopped using oil. Now, this has been a little bit of a taboo one, and if you think back to, I can't remember what year it was exactly, but when no oils and butters were a thing, and we were getting told to stop using them and only do like a wash and go with like mousse, and literally that's it, not even like a leave-in. So I did not jump on that bandwagon because I'm not about that life, but I did stop using oils, and the main reason was because oils for me, I can actually go without them with my wash and go. When I do wash and go, and it's when I do wash and goes in particular, I don't need an oil for the result to look really nice, and I prefer not to use an oil just because, number one, it's quite messy, and number two, I just don't like the feel of oil on my hair. Like, I feel sometimes it can weigh down my hair a little bit, and I just prefer the look without oil and the feel without oil. And yeah, I just stopped using oil. I got out of the habit of it and I stopped using it, and I think that was to my own detriment because I've implemented oil back in, and I do think with my hair being fine, it does need that extra layer of protection on the hair to make sure that it stays protected and the products stay kind of sealed in, and it just adds that extra layer of protection between the hair and, you know, the weather or the environment or your clothes or anything like that. It's just an added layer. So that was a huge mistake for me. As I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of oil. I have implemented it back into my routine. I do prefer lighter oils. And with me having fine hair, my hair really likes things like jojoba oil and argan oil and lighter oils as opposed to your castor oils and things like that. So I do tend to just opt for a lighter oil, and I will do the LCO method now with my protective styles. And I do think it's easier when you've got a protective style in to add the oil in. It doesn't look or feel as weighed down as it would if you wore your hair in a wash and go. The fifth thing that I was doing that was breaking off my fine natural hair was I wasn't moisturizing enough. Now, my hair is generally medium to high porosity. However, I can get away with not moisturizing too often throughout the week. Generally, I do my wash days every single week, especially if I wear my hair curly. I will always wash on a Sunday, I will deep condition, and then I will reset the hair and do all of that stuff. And with that routine came a lot of moisture retention. I do not suffer typically with really dry hair, especially after day 1 or day 2. And even day 3. However, what I was not recognizing is that when my hair got to, let's say, day 4 or day 5, and it was becoming a little bit tangled and dry, I would not go in and re-moisturize effectively, and I would just maybe use like a spray and a cream. Whereas now I've been trying to do the LCO method, so I will go in with a spray, then I will apply some sort of like butter moisturizer or cream, then I will seal it in with an oil or a grease. And I think that method for me has really been working and saving my ends so much, because if you can see the difference between this was March this year, and you can see the split ends up my hair shaft. You can see that one side is a little bit shorter at the edges and the ends are not full, and the midlands we've got splits halfway through my head. And if I'm being honest, my hairdresser could have probably trimmed a lot more off that, because that was actually after the trim. In comparison to now, where my hair is definitely fuller and thicker all the way around, you can see that the edges have kind of filled out and there's not as many split ends through the midlands of my hair. Granted, it's not perfect, it's not where I ideally want to be. I do want a little bit more fullness at the ends. However, it's a huge turnaround since March. So I will attribute some of that to the fact that I've introduced oils and the LCO method back into my routine. The last and final mistake I was making was I was not clarifying my hair enough. And again, I always refer back to 2022 because this is when my hair care routine was literally on point. I was using the K18 detox shampoo and I was using the Indian healing clay mask with apple cider vinegar, and I was clarifying my scalp at least once a month and on a minimum. I was sometimes even using the K18 on a weekly basis because you can, and I was only doing one shampoo of it. It wasn't drying my hair out, it was perfect. And if I'm being completely honest, I feel like clarifying the hair on a weekly basis really served me well. And I know some of you will be thinking, but it strips off the hair, like it's too harsh. It can strip the hair and it can be too harsh, but for me, it really worked. And I think the reason was because every kind of week was a reset for me. And I was able to get like the new products and the ingredients into my hair after removing all of the buildup and whatever was on my hair from the previous week. And then I started afresh, added all like the new product into the hair, and it just really worked for me. And I feel like some people go wrong because they maybe either choose the wrong clarifying product and it really does strip the hair a lot. Like you can't be using like Head and Shoulders 2 times a week, 3 times a week and expecting to see long and shiny, moisturized, healthy hair. But choosing the right shampoo is going to be really good, really key. And number 2, just paying attention to the integrity of the hair as well. If you see that your hair is getting a little bit dry from the clarifying shampoo, then maybe just switch out that week. But for me, the K18 and me are like this. So that detox shampoo with the charcoal is top tier, and I will continue to stand this product till the day I die because I absolutely love the K18. Again, I've gone back to that, and I've gone back to doing the Indian healing clay masks for my hair. And not only that, it just really balances my scalp out so much. And itchiness and dryness can be a really huge thing amongst curly and afro hair. And sometimes we do suffer with one or the other, especially if you're someone who maybe likes to put oil on your scalp or you don't wash your hair every week. I've actually managed to go 2 weeks and my hair and scalp is still great. When I went to my salon appointment last week, the hairdresser said to me that my scalp was in good condition. I said to her, I'm not shampooed for 2 weeks, so if it's a little bit tangled and dry, then you know why. But she was like, no, the hair looks good, the scalp looks good, it's not inflamed, it's not dry, you haven't got flakes, you've not got excess shedding. And I literally think that's down to the fact that I have been really prioritizing my scalp health with these clarifying products. And I typically don't apply oil to my scalp. I'm not a huge fan of oiling my scalp. And if, for example, I do feel like my scalp's a bit dry, I will go in with some sort of serum or a tonic as opposed to an oil to moisturize, because I don't know, I've just never really liked oiling my scalp unless I've got like cornrows or something like that, then I will maybe oil it. But generally I tend to think serums and tonics do work better for me. I hope you found this video really helpful in the 6 mistakes that I did that broke off my fine natural hair, and just to give you a little bit of food for thought if this is something that you're experiencing and you're maybe wondering why. I could have touched on some of the things in the video trigger that resonate with you. Let me know in the comments how you found this one, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.